Hi guys, and welcome back to the Retro Room. This is the third part in my building a floor floppy. Listen to me. I'm building a 4 floppy machine using this 486 board. In the first video, we went over the parts that were going to be used. And in the first video, we went over the parts that were going to be used and did some cleaning, mostly of the case, which is right here. In the second video mostly consisted of getting the quad floppy controller operational, which after some trial and error finally happened. If you want to see those videos, they are on the channel, and you can check those out at your leisure. For this video, we're going to actually build the case. Well, the case is built. We're going to build the computer in the case. Move you down here where we can get a look at what we're doing. I'm going to line this up. Apparently it's going to mount with just one screw here and several of these standoffs, which it already has 2 in the board. We're going to need a couple more. Which I have right over here. I don't have too many of those. All right, and these just push into the bottom of the board like so. Well, I dropped that one. Has that little pointed end right there. Just push into the board and it just snaps in place. These oval connections here are a little tricky since that spot can wiggle out. But we'll use one there. It appears this, well, there goes that. See, told you, they fall right out. This screw lug needs to be moved down here. And those are all pretty easy to move. If I have the right tool. Like a pair of pliers. Just give it a twist. And most of these are just a little bit more than finger tightened into the hole. They don't need to be any tighter than that anyway. And just give it a little bit of turn. Now, let's get this board mounted on here. Making sure all the plastic standoffs are in the right spot. There goes that one again. All right, all those are in place. Grab this other one off the floor. I'll pop him in place on the case and then snap the motherboard onto it so it can serve as a standoff. Right there is where it needs to sit because it lines up with the hole there. And for that, I think we need a fine threaded screw like this one. My whole bench is a mess. Screw him down nice and secure. Yeah, he's not going anywhere. I'm missing my compact flash card. I'd copied some software on that. That we'll see in a minute. Now let's get him mounted in the case. Goes in just like we took it off. Bring this a little closer. The first thing we should do is secure this ground wire to where it was. So on this hole right here. I'm starting the screw by hand, but I don't think that's the right size. Let's try a coarser threaded screw. It's one of the case screws. That should work. I'll point this downward so it doesn't get in the way of anything. Tighten him down. Ram doesn't quite want to fit. It's good now. Make sure all the screw holes are lined up. Get this power supply cable out of the way. That's the cable to the switch on the front. We'll use these flat screws to tie him down. That's one. Number two, being a klutz. And the third one down here. All right, that's all mounted. Second thing we'll do, we'll move these cables out of the way. Turn him around. And we'll start putting some drives in there. The first 5 1/4 inch sized drive is this 1.2 meg, and it will go right here on the bottom. And it matches the case color. That's pretty nice. Reach over here and get some screws. These are fine threaded, the finer threaded screws. There's really 2 types seen most common in PCs. What I call a coarse thread and a fine thread. Hard drives typically take coarse thread, so do power supplies. Floppy drives and most everything else take fine threaded. Sometimes motherboard mounts can take either one. And sometimes the card ports right here can take one or the other. All right, there's that one. The next drive will be this 360K Fujitsu drive. That is a tight squeeze. But it seems all right. Lift him. Lift the drive up a little. We'll pop the screw in just to make sure he's not resting on the drive below it. We'll put another in here for good measure. Like that. I want to turn him back around. And we'll put another screw here in the back bottom corner. Just to again keep the drive from colliding with the one below it. Mismatched colors, but I don't think that's bad. Looks pretty good. The next will be this 1.44 meg Mitsumi floppy drive. It's a little newer than anything else in this case, but it will work just fine. And to keep with the theme, we'll put him on the bottom. And again, these take the fine threaded screws. go through the hole in the back plane of the case. And once the drive is lined up, we'll hold it, screw him down. We'll put a screw on the other side as well, just to make sure he doesn't go anywhere. Then the second thing to go in that slot is this GoTech USB floppy emulator. That is black in color. And that being a plastic case body, I'm going to use these pointed plastic screws like this one here. There we are. Then we'll come around and put one here on the other side here. Maybe. I can't quite see what I'm doing there. Now I can. I probably should have mounted these drives before putting the motherboard cage back in. All right, I got him in there. There's the drives, the black and white, black and white. I kind of like the look of that. But let's get you guys rearranged and we'll put some cards in here. There we go, with the motherboard looking all pretty in there. These two connectors for a game port and a serial port. I don't have a game port connection on the board, but I do have a serial port. And we will connect him after we get the video card installed. Here's our video card. the Diamond Stealth 64 running the S3 Trio 64 chip. I'm going to put it in the first PCI slot here, but the port cover is still covered. Or the port cover is still installed on that port. We'll just move it over one. These port covers use coarse threaded screws to hold the cards down. Put the video card right here. Just line him up, give it a gentle push, and he's in the socket. Or PCI slot. Have a screw, tighten him down. There we go. Then where's the star of the show? Here we are, our quad floppy controller. I'm just going to leave that on there. We'll put him in the second IDE, or the second ISA slot, because that's where we had him during testing. Though I don't think it really matters. In fact, I know it doesn't matter. It could go in any of the ISA slots as long as the slots are working. But we know that second one works. And I'm pretty sure the others do as well. He's tied down. Now to plug in the motherboard's power. This is not the way to connect them. The black wires have to be together, because the 4 middle pins on this AT power connection are ground. And all the black wires there are also ground. Plug in one. You kind of have to start them at an angle and then straighten them up vertically and then push them down into spot. And it's kind of a tight squeeze in there, and the RAM isn't helping. That's right, I got that one. Then the next one. Okay, those are on and in the right orientation. Next, let's fish these drive cables up here. Got to make sure the pin alignment's right, which means I have to bend this cable around for that drive on the bottom, because it has to conveniently be backwards from the one above it. Just making sure to keep the cables out of the CPU fan. All right, and this one, the sides are matched, I believe. There's one. Then the second. And while we're in here, I might as well put these the front panel LEDs and switches and things. I don't have a PC speaker, and that's not important. So I'm not going to worry about that. Work this serial cable down, because you never know when you might need one. Here, we'll just stuff him in there. That tie is just in the way. That zip tie right there. Goodbye. All right, what are we working with? We have a floppy. And several, well, 4-pin Berg connector and several Molex connectors. First thing, we will put power to the drives on top. Let's pick him up. Looks like a rat's nest on top there, doesn't it? Oh, this bottom drive's power connection is kind of hidden. It's actually a 1/4 inch recessed from the PCB, making it hard to see. But he's installed. We're going to take these and run them straight down here. which you guys can't see at all, I'm sure. Here they are. First, the power connection on the GoTech. He's not wanting to cooperate. All right. We'll put this first one on the little Mitsumi drive, just like that. Going to use this adapter. If I can get him on there. Real tight space for my fat fingers. He seems to be connected. We'll give it a test here in a minute. These little connectors, if you can see, they wobble about. Makes it a little tricky to get them connected into a power supply Molex connector. We'll use this adapter, which is kind of an extension. Plug in the compact flash adapter. For this one, I'm going to take him out and just plug him in. Then we'll install him again. That one went in there pretty easy. Now it appears everything is connected. I'll move you guys again, and we'll see if it works, or if I have something connected wrong, or if it just decided to stop working. Okay, I have the computer connected to power, to video, and to a keyboard. I should probably put a mouse on there, but we're not going to worry about that right now. We're going to hit the power button and see if anything explodes. And that is a yes. Something is smoking out of the case. I don't know if you guys saw that. I don't know what that was. Yes, I do. Looky there. That cable got all kinds of hot and melty. Apparently he wasn't connected properly. We had an explosion. Not really an explosion, but still rather bad. All right, got a new Molex to a Berg connector adapter and have it installed properly, made sure this time. Let's go for a round 2 to see if we get anything crackling. Now the power supply doesn't want to work. Well, that's fun. Let's unplug everything. I had a feeling that power supply wasn't to be trusted. All right, everything but the motherboard is disconnected. Let's see if it still does the same thing. We got a beep. Oh yeah, when I was looking for the other power adapter cable, I found a PC speaker and it fit right in there and it's good to go. Let's turn him off. Let's plug this one back in. It's my replacement power adapter. And it comes on. Let's plug in the compact flash to IDE adapter. Put him back on the board. Try it again. Got a beep out of him. Install the power to the Mitsumi floppy drive. That fit nicely. That worked. I'm going to pick him up. Let's put power to the 360K drive with everything else still connected. That's working. try to get the power connector on this 1.2 megabyte floppy drive. Let's see. It booted right up. Hear the drive testing. It's not really Windows 98 that just plays that flash screen on the boot image when booting from a hard drive. I remember this takes a little while. And the 360K drive is spinning for some reason, but I don't think that's a problem. All right, we're at a DOS prompt. Let's put it through some ordinary tests. I'm going to try the USB stick from that we were using yesterday. See if we can pull a directory listing off of things. A : came up with an A prompt, which means it recognizes there's medium in there. Well, media in there. And a directory listing. All right. Let's try the physical 3.5-inch drive, which should be B, and it accessed that drive. And pulled a directory listing off of that. Let's pop the disk out of there. Now if it keeps the same lettering as before, this top drive should be drive D. We'll try that, and it is accessing that disk. We'll pull a directory off of that. Worked without any trouble at all. And the last drive is drive E. And it's finding nothing because there's no disk in there. Let's put a disk in there. We'll retry. It's knocking pretty good. It's a formatted disk. But it seems all the drives are working. I have a feeling that disk is just bad. Let's try the disk from the other drive. No knocking on that one. And it found the directory listing, same as the drive above it. The drives appear to be working. Without any issue. There is one thing I want to try though. Is a Windows 95. To try these drives in Windows 95. But I'm not going to have you guys sit through all that. We'll call this video here. I hope you all have a wonderful day. In the next video, we will see how these drives operate in Windows 95 and show you how that looks. And again, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.